Good morning, friends. Nice to see all of you and be met with you. We're going to sing a morning song together out of the great hymnal, hymn number 338, I Seek the Spirit of the Child. And you'll recognize this. It's an old English tune that you might associate with Christmas time. But it's just a great set of lyrics by Carl Seaberg, and I thought we would sing it this morning. So I invite you to rise and let's sing together. I seek the spirit of a child. If you'd like to see the lyrics, they're posted up here on the screen as well. I seek the spirit of a child, the child who meets life naturally, the child who sings the world alive and greets the morning sun with glee. Children are real beyond all art. May I see joys a gift to the heart. I seek the freedom of a child who loves instinctively, who lights our day with just a smile and shines the light on all we see. Children are real beyond all fear. May I see hope's a gift to our tears. I seek the wonder of a child who sees delightfully. No clouds, no cloud, no golden sun, imaginations true and free. Children are real beyond all lies. May I see faith's the gift to our eyes. Thank you for singing.
Good morning. Welcome to the Olympia UU congregation. Our community envisions an interconnected world that is loving, just, and healthy. We commit to live out our mission to welcome and wonder, embrace and empower, bridge and become. Thank you for choosing to join us today. My name is Ann Colbury. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a member of the worship arts team. To share a visual image, I'm a white woman of average height with chin-length dark hair and glasses. I'm now considered a senior. I'm wearing a medium blue seersucker shirt over a white t-shirt and black pants. Leading worship with me today is Troy Fisher in black at the piano, and our visiting minister, Reverend Jennifer DeBusk Alviar. Reverend Jennifer is an ordained Unitarian Universalist minister engaged in advocacy and accessibility through the arts. She collaborates with arts-based nonprofits to cultivate greater equity and inclusion, so all people may enjoy museums, theaters, parks, zoos, libraries, and other cultural venues. Reverend Alviar is the winner of the Equal Access Carolyn Cartland Sermon Award for Disability Justice. She received her Master of Divinity degree at Starr King School of Ministry in Berkeley, California. She lives with her family on the indigenous land of the Duwamish people in Seattle. Here are a few things about our service today. We are streaming both on Zoom and YouTube, and the service is being recorded. You can see subtitles on the screen in front if you are in the sanctuary, or in Zoom if you are online. We are a multi-generational community. Babies, kids, teens, and adults of all ages are welcome in the sanctuary, and there's a rocker and softer chairs up front. Nursery care and a storytime program are just down the hall in the classroom wing. We're deeply grateful to everyone who has contributed to making worship happen this morning. Thanks to the tech team, greeters, kitchen helpers, child care volunteers, Darlene in the office, to mention just a few. After the service, everyone will have the chance to discuss reflection questions offered by Reverend Alviar. For those online, we invite you to go into a breakout room for a virtual coffee chat. For those in the sanctuary, please stay for coffee and connection in the Commons. Mark your calendar. This coming Saturday, August 26th, all are invited to the second annual OUUC picnic at Miller Sylvania State Park. Come for fun, fellowship, and food. The picnic starts at 3 p.m. with social activities, followed by a potluck dinner at 5 p.m. Please contact Reverend Sarah if you have questions. There's always plenty happening at Olympia UU. For the most current information, please read the Tuesday electronic update or the OUUC website. Now let us open our hearts and minds as we prepare for worship. It is good to be together. This morning, we join UU congregations around the world in lighting a chalice, the symbol of our faith tradition. If you are online and have a chalice or a candle, let's light them together with these words. Creativity is a pathway to the sacred. All the world's religions give credence to the idea that art fuels our spiritual journey. In an NPR radio interview, Desmond Tutu, Anglican Archbishop of South Africa, suggests that our creativity should be used to enhance our world. In his words, we were made to enjoy music, to enjoy beautiful sunsets, to enjoy looking at the billows of the sea, and to be thrilled with a rose bedecked with dew. Human beings are actually created for the transcendent, for the sublime, for the beautiful, for the truthful. And all of us are given the task of trying to make this world a little more hospitable to these beautiful things.
Good morning. I am Reverend Jennifer DeBusk Alviar. I'm a little shorter. I'm 5'3" and I have a little stool, so you can make me feel grown up. I'd like to share a brief description so that people with wide-ranging accessibility needs feel included and welcomed in our worship space of hospitality. I am a white woman of short brown hair, blonde, short hair, blonde, and glasses. This is just we're changing as we go. I'm wearing a white blouse and a light blue blazer, navy blue pants, and wearing a stole with blue and white swirling patterns. I love the color blue. We gather as a caring community seeking life's deeper meanings. We value theological diversity. We affirm the worth and dignity of all gender expressions. We strive to speak truth, to love, to act for justice, to grow in spirit, and to care for the earth. We celebrate with open hearts and minds the creative power that sustains and transforms us. It is a pleasure to join you this morning for this sacred time of gathering. Come, let us worship together.
And let's sing together again. Out of the gray hymnal, hymn number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. And I'm going to invite you to stay seated because we're going to sing a round. And the round works just a little bit better if we're seated. And in our hymn book, this line by Rumi is not included, but I think we should include it. Though you've broken your vow 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Let's turn it around. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. So we'll start with this side, then we'll go to this side, and have you sing it through 3 times. And then when you get done, if you would return to those opening lines, though you've broken your vows, and just repeat them, okay? And I'll try not to sing into the microphone so that there's one part that's prominent, okay? Here we go, we'll start over here. Ready, and come, come, whoever you are, come, come, whoever you're leaving, ours is no caravan of escaping, ours is no caravan of here we go. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come, whoever you're leaving, ours is no caravan of escaping, ours is no caravan of last time. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come, whoever you're leaving, ours is no caravan of escaping, ours is no caravan of despair. Though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times. Thank you, you sounded good.
Beautiful. Thank you, Troy. All right, story time for all ages. This is a book written by Kobe Yamada, illustrated by Mae Bessem. What do you do with a problem? I don't know how it happened, but one day I had a problem. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it. I really didn't like having a problem, but there it was. Does that sound familiar? Why is it here? What does it want? What do you do with a problem, I thought. I wanted to make it go away. I shooed it. I scowled at it. I tried ignoring it, but nothing worked. I started to worry about my problem. What if it swallowed me up? What if my problem sneaks up and gets me? What if it takes away all my things? I worried a lot. I worried about what would happen. I worried about what could happen. I worried about this and worried about that. And the more I worried, the bigger my problem became. I wish it would just disappear. I tried everything I could to hide from it. I even found ways to disguise myself, but it still found me. And the more I avoided my problem, the more I saw it everywhere. I thought about it all the time. I didn't feel good at all. I couldn't take it anymore. This has to stop, I declared. Maybe I was making my problem bigger and scarier than it actually was. After all, my problem hadn't really swallowed me up or attacked me. I realized that I had to face it. So, even though I didn't want to, even though I was really afraid, I got ready and I tackled my problem. When I got face to face with it, I discovered something. My problem wasn't what I thought it was. I discovered it had something beautiful inside. My problem held an opportunity. It was an opportunity for me to learn and grow, to be brave, to do something. It showed me that it was important to look closely because some opportunities only come around once. So now I see problems differently. I'm not afraid of them anymore because I know their secret. Every problem has an opportunity for something good. You just have to look for it.
Each Sunday, we express our gratitude by joining together in service to our community and to something greater than ourselves. The offering collected here does two things. It supports the ongoing work of Olympia UU, which is also supported by your regular pledges. The offering also supports an organization that serves our larger community in harmony with our Unitarian Universalist values. This month, our Share the Plate recipient is Hockey Farmers Collective, which seeks to bolster and reincorporate traditional and inherently sustainable farming knowledge that exists in our migrant and indigenous communities. By holding close decolonization frameworks, the collective encourages our intersecting Black, indigenous, and immigrant peoples to reclaim life-giving knowledge of truly sustainable foodways and plant medicine creation. You can participate in the offering by making a donation online through the church website or by texting the number that will appear on your screen. You can also mail a check to Olympia UU or place your offering in one of the baskets being passed by the ushers. May the offering now be generously given, as it truly makes a difference and will be gratefully received.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. What we'll find when we look into our imaginations. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of our creations, living there. We will see what we truly wish to be. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world? There's nothing to it. There is no life I know that compares with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be.
Thank you for your generous offerings. We came together this morning bringing all that is in our lives. Let's open our hearts to the complexity of life as we place stones in the water of community. You will hear a drumbeat as we share today. This reminds us that our individual's heartbeat, and together we create the heartbeat of community. Right now, I invite you to take a breath, in and out, as we open our hearts to receive the complexity of all that is in our lives and in our communities today. Otto Bulls shares that former OUUC member Terrence Zander died on August 9th at his home in Vancouver, Washington. Terry left Olympia a few years ago and has lived with serious health conditions for years. We send our love and care to Terry's family and friends with the prayer that his spirit be at peace. For those online, I invite you to share from the heart by entering in the chat. Those in the sanctuary can see your sharing on the screen. For those here, I invite you to come forward if there is something that you would like to bring into this community. You may place a stone in the water as you hold your sharing in your heart. Please come up through the side aisle and return through the center aisle. Let us hear the heartbeat of our community and reach out our hearts in love and care to all those who share. We place a stone in the water for all that has been shared online, shared from the heart. And we place one more stone in the water for all that we hold in our hearts and that remains unspoken.
Please be in whatever way is comfortable for you for prayer and meditation. May we take this moment to deepen into a reflection on beauty expressed by poet Khalil Gibran. Only our spirits can understand beauty or live and grow with it. It puzzles our minds. We're unable to describe it in words. It is a sensation that our eyes cannot see, derived from both the one who observes and the one who is looked upon. Real beauty is a ray which emanates from the Holy of Holies of the Spirit and illuminates the body as life comes from the depths of the earth and gives color and scent to a flower. Let us hold a moment of silence together.
Let's remain seated and sing together hymn number 306. Sing of living, sing of dying. Sing of living, sing of dying. Let them both be joined as one, part of an eternal process, like the ever-encircling sun. From the freshness of the infant, giving hope in what is new, to the wisdom of the aged, deepened by a longer view. Open to a deeper loving, open to the gift of care, searching for a higher justice, helping others in despair. Through the tender bonds of living, in a more inclusive way, we are open more to suffering from the losses of each day.
Today's reading is by Joyce Rupp. Her poem is titled, Old Maps No Longer Work. I keep pulling it out, the old map of my inner path. I squint closely at it, trying to see some hidden road that maybe I've missed. But there's nothing there now, except some well-traveled paths. They have seen my footsteps often, held my laughter, caught my tears. I keep going over the old map, but now the road leads nowhere. A meaningless wilderness where life is dull and futile. Toss away the old map, she says. You must be kidding, I reply. She looks at me with Sarah eyes and repeats, toss it away. It's no use where you're going. I have to have a map, I cry, even if it takes me nowhere. I can't be without direction. But you are without direction, she says, so why not be free? Let go. So there I am, tossing away my old map, sadly, fearfully, putting it behind me. Whatever will I do, wails my security. Trust me, says my midlife soul. No map, no specific directions, no this way ahead or take a left. How will I know where to go? How will I find my way? No map. But then my midlife soul whispers. There was a time before maps where pilgrims traveled by the stars. It is time for the pilgrim in me to travel in the dark, to learn to read the stars that shine in my soul. I will walk deeper into the dark of my night. I will wait for the stars, trust their guidance, and let their light be enough for me. Sometimes a problem isn't quite what we think it is. It might even contain something beautiful hidden within if we have the courage to face it. So, if a perceived problem holds a hidden gift and opportunity for transformation, then why don't we readily embrace it? Well, let's explore this idea together. Let's say you approach problem solving with a map, a blueprint, and a handbook. A solid foundation grounded in information, education, planning, and execution. But suppose plan A goes sideways, and plan B experiences a glitch, and plan C implodes. You get where I'm going with this. Life is just not going according to plan, no matter how hard we try. Ever been there before? Maybe you've encountered some of these vexing problems through careers, relationships, religion, and politics. I know I have. Let me offer you an example. I grew up at the intersection between education and social change. My father served as a faculty professor on a university campus in the San Francisco Bay Area. My mother founded a nonprofit leadership program in Silicon Valley. I figured that with enough books, knowledge, and professional credentials, I would be well-equipped for effective problem solving. This on top of being well-networked with civic-minded leaders and thought leaders and social change agents, and together, I would be part of a movement in helping to usher in a liberating future for a more just, equitable world. Sounds good, right? What could possibly go wrong? Well, maybe not everyone is working from the same level playing field. When I survived a life-threatening brain hemorrhage as a 6-year-old child, my lived experience of disability was not reflected in the leaders in my community. Can you imagine the cognitive dissonance and disorientation that this must have felt like? Especially for a child trying to make sense of the world around her. The timing of this happened to take place in 1977, 13 years prior to the civil rights passage of the Americans with Disability Act in 1990. There was no language for self-advocacy around neurodiversity. This term, neurodiversity, was coined in 1998 by Judy Singer. She's an Australian sociologist with autism, describing diversity of the human brain and its impact on human behavior. All that existed in the 1970s was the medical model, which perceived disability as a defect within the individual in need of being cured and fixed. I'm not sure about you, but most people don't like being considered a problem in need of a solution. I know I don't. It would take over a decade later of hard civil rights activism to usher in the social model as a liberating alternative to the medical model. The social model says that people are disabled by barriers to society, not by their impairments or differences. It calls for an end to discrimination and oppression by advocating for education, accommodation, and universal design to meet the needs of disabled people. But here is where things get tricky. In the absence of any model for disability justice in the 70s and 80s, I had no map, no blueprint, no handbook of what leadership was supposed to look like. And from my vantage point, all I knew was what I could see and observe and witness. So, growing up on a university campus in Silicon Valley, a leader was predominantly a white-collared professional. This was the air I breathed. These were the teachers, business leaders, professors, and religious leaders who shaped and informed my worldview from grade school to graduate school. I did my best to fit in and follow suit as a white, blonde-haired, able-bodied, cisgender woman with a hidden disability. A close match, but not quite. So imagine my surprise when my perceived model of leadership, this well-manicured facade, crumbled before my eyes. I decided to step outside the box of traditional parish ministry to pursue a more entrepreneurial community ministry at Seattle Central College. I applied for a position to serve as a mentor and educator for non-traditional students seeking their GED certificate program. When I received a call for an interview, I was thrilled. School had been challenging for me, given my disability. I wanted to pay it forward with a sense of gratitude for the many mentors who had guided me to where I am today. I thought I was doing the right thing, the good thing, the noble thing. When I stepped into the building for my job interview, I immediately noticed that I was the only white person present. As I passed the hallway, I saw immigrants and refugees next door at an ESL program. A staff of BIPOC folks greeted me as I entered the room for my interview. Then the director in the program, Miss Williams, invited me in and began the interview. After a series of questions, she asked me this particular one. So Jennifer, tell me about your experience with diversity. I shared with her my professional experience as a City Year AmeriCorps volunteer teaching ESL to the International Institute in Boston. That was it. Did I mention that my husband was an immigrant from the Philippines? No. Did I mention that we are raising a biracial, bicultural daughter? No. Did I mention that I live with a hidden disability from my childhood brain injury? No. Would it have been helpful to demonstrate some level of cross-cultural and competency, multicultural awareness, and intersectionality in responding to this interview question about diversity? In hindsight, yes, absolutely. But I was being, professional, on point, on topic, sticking with the facts of my resume credentials, responding to questions in an articulate, composed manner. After all, isn't this what it means to be a leader? Business suit and all. At the end of the interview, Miss Williams smiled at me. She thanked me for my time and said, "You present yourself well." Well, thank you very much. Then she followed up with these words, ones that I will never forget. Jennifer, we don't need a polished, articulate, composed, accomplished professional for this job. We need someone who is scrappy and resourceful, someone who is relatable, someone who has experienced failure firsthand and knows how to get back up with grit and resilience. What, in your lived experience, speaks to this lived reality of these GED students that would be value added to this position? As stunning as Ms. Williams' pointed, candid words were, she offered me an unexpected gift. For the first time in my life, I felt seen versus invisible. I am scrappy and resourceful. I just didn't know that it carried any value of the model of leadership that I was raised with. For example, in the months leading up to my brain surgery in the hospital as a 6-year-old child, I had no access to language, verbal expression. So what did I do? I fashioned my 5-prong medical IV stand on wheels into a skateboard. Every day, I scooted my way down the hospital corridor to the children's art room. This art room became my sanctuary. In this holy space of nonverbal creativity, I learned to paint, draw, write, and dance to music. This became my quiet revolution to counteract the silencing of systemic oppression. It became my artistic avenue for self-advocacy and liberation. When I regained my speech after brain surgery, nature served as my guide for my next chapter in my life. I discovered that by grounding my body through movement, I cultivated kinesthetic awareness and muscle memory. This tactile, embodied approach to life propelled me through the world in my travels. I bicycled 5,200 miles across the United States with a touring organization called Cycle America. I backpacked for a month in the wilderness of Alaska for a wilderness survival course with National Outdoor Leadership School. I canoed down the Missouri River with a conservation organization called American Prairie. I am scrappy and resourceful in body and mind. As for failure, I've had my fair share too. In college, I attended a traditional liberal arts university with a traditional core curriculum. For the life of me, I could not pass my biology 101 class. My brain just wasn't wired to learn through this particular lab-based format. After 2 failed attempts, I transferred to a more innovative university where I satisfied my science requirement by taking a course called Neurological Bases of Behavior. This is a fascinating psychology course on the science of human behavior and the human brain. What do you call disabled people who learn to navigate life through back doors, side angles, and creative workarounds when traditional pathways don't fit? We are called code switchers, shapeshifters, bridge builders, and change makers. As the disabilities justice slogan goes, nothing about us without us. I walked into that building for my job interview thinking that I was offering my services as a mentor and educator for GED students. But who got schooled? Me. And who offered an unexpected gift? Miss Williams. Her parting words of wisdom were these: lead with transparency. This is how you will build trust across differences. I have been following her advice ever since. For the past several years, I have been actively engaged in pulpit supply preaching with Unitarian Universalist congregations throughout the Pacific Northwest and beyond. One of my favorite things to do is to develop positive relationships with worship arts teams in co-creating services together. I learn something new each time from each congregation, especially learning diverse learning styles and cross-cultural understanding. One time, I found myself collaborating with a worship team who reflected more multicultural mix than most UU congregations. To help build trust across differences, I did my best to model leadership through transparency. I shared up front my particular access needs. I said, I'm neurodivergent from a childhood brain injury. The most effective way for me to be value-added to this team is to craft a highly detailed outline with all the worship elements in sequential order. Please understand that I am very collaborative by nature, and I warmly welcome your feedback in co-creating this worship space together. My intention for this detailed order of service outline is simply to help alleviate mental fatigue to my brain due to its impact on working memory and executive functioning. In no way am I trying to control anyone or overstep boundaries around each of your specialties, around music, religious exploration, and service as a celebrant with the worship arts. Please let me know if you have any questions or feedback. I also invite you to share your access needs so that I can be mindful and respectful of how you learn best and how we can collaborate well together. After a pause, one woman from the worship team raised her hand. She said, "My mother was..." I'm getting there. I'm having a moment, actually. My mother was part of the Japanese internment camp in World War II. She had a hard life and was very controlling mother in raising me. If you didn't share your access needs up front, I wouldn't have known your intentions behind your highly structured outline. This may have well triggered fear and distrust given my upbringing and cross-cultural differences. But the way you modeled transparency made me feel safe. You created a sacred container where I felt respected and seen. Thank you. I needed that. Isn't this what church is all about? Our UU movement overall. We are here to model radical hospitality and inclusion for everyone. Theologian Henry Nouwen, I think I don't need my water right now, but theologian Henry Nouwen speaks beautifully about hospitality in these words. Hospitality is not to change people, but rather to create space where change can take place, where strangers can enter and discover themselves as created free, free to sing their own songs, speak their own languages, dance their own dances, free also to leave and follow their own vocations. I love the wisdom and freedom expressed by Nouwen's words. It feels similar to the spirit of Rumi's poem that we sang in our opening hymn. Come, come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come. Today, I feel fortunate to bridge my own lived experience with disability justice through the creative lens of the cultural arts community. In particular, I look forward to developing a relationship with Seattle Cultural Accessibility Consortium. This local nonprofit offers professional development and training workshops focused on accessibility for museums, theaters, parks, zoos, libraries, and other cultural venues. For example, this fall, on September 13, 2023, at the Woodland Park Zoo in Seattle, SCAC will offer a mini conference covering important accessibility topics. These include removing barriers for venue accessibility, neurodiversity in the arts, ASL and captioning, and universal design for learning. For me, accessibility in the arts is a creative, embodied approach towards faith and disability, justice. This is my chosen call to ministry. I participated in a community art exhibit at Seattle's Museum of History and Industry, MOHI, in partnership with the University of Washington's Medical Center for Rehabilitation. This art exhibit fostered creative community building and creative self-expression for people living with brain injuries. On May 8th, 2011, I shared my essay, Motherhood, Faith, and Disability, as part of this exhibit. Here's how I expressed it through my own artistic statement. Brain injury survivors are largely invisible community. This art exhibit enables artists to bring beauty together with justice to counteract the sense of anonymity. I believe that the human spirit is irreducible. We are more than our medical charts and clinical diagnoses. This is why I write and preach. I want to remind myself and others that people, whether brain injured or not, are human beings worthy of dignity, respect, and belonging. Art puts a human face on social issues where creativity replaces anonymity, hope replaces despair. I believe that effective problem-solving lies in the kind of hospitality that is grounded in humility and grace. When life surprises us with unexpected gifts and challenges, may we embrace them with innovation and creativity. May we learn to compassionately release the maps, blueprints, and handbooks of how life is supposed to be in order to birth new possibilities for how life could be. And may we co-create a more welcoming future with a spirit of radical hospitality and inclusion for all brains and bodies seeking liberation and freedom. May it be so. Amen, shalom, salam, namaste, and ashe.
Let's join together in singing one last time out of the Till Hymn book, hymn number 1018, Come and Go With Me. I invite you to rise in body and our spirit, and let's sing this rousing hymn together.
If you are online and have a chalice or candle, please join me as we extinguish our chalice with these words. May we embrace an expansive, inclusive vision for the cultural arts so that all people may have access to celebrate beauty, creativity, and innovation with greater equity. And now, may you go into this week blessed and blessing the world. We hold you in our love as you go. Go in peace, go in joy, go in love.